What's up, everybody? I'm up here at work. Just taking a little break. I've had a buddy tell me I need to tell this story. He says it's an interesting one, so I'm gonna tell you. A little something that happened to me right after I graduated from high school. 2 days after I graduated, exactly. My brother and I were gonna go to the lake. Lived right up the road from a lake. On the way there, it was probably about a 5 mile trip. We're driving my little truck, little Nissan. Well, it said Nissan on the inside, Datsun on the outside. I don't forget what year model it was. It had a little sunroof in it, little 4-speed. Dad took an engine out of a Datsun 510 sports car and put the engine in the truck for me. And anyway, it would scoot. And we were going down the road. Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55 was going on, blasting on the radio. My little brother's in the seat beside me. I'm here. Both of us had just graduated high school. It was summertime, beautiful, sunny day. We're going to my buddy Rick's house. So we're going, and on Lake Norrell Road, this is the road, Lake Norrell is where I was going. There's 3 sets of S-curves. There's one set, there's a ravine here. Second set, flat on both sides. Third set, ravine here. First or the third, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. But as it happened, I Can't Drive 55 is blasting on my radio. We're just jamming, probably doing 60, brand new paved road. So it was paved and nice, and it held your tires and everything. And then there's 6-inch drop off, and then a gravel embankment where they had just essentially built a badass gravel road, then paved over the top of it. And on the outside of this curve, it was an embankment. So I'm driving my truck, come out of the first curve, fine, I'm on my side of the road, come around the second curve, I'm kind of on the line, and what happens is a little Baja Beetle comes right straight towards me, the Volkswagen, and it had Baja fenders on it. The fenders were cut off, and he's in my lane, looking at his floorboard, looking down like this, got his hand on the steering wheel, looking down like this. He looks up, and his look on his face, I remember everything from this point till point B, and I'll tell you point B when we get there. Everything from there happened in slow motion, and I remember it every nanosecond of it, and most of it was in slow motion. He's driving, looking like he looks up and goes, cuts his steering wheel. This bug goes sideways in the road right in front of me, and I'm doing like 50. Okay? By this point, I'd slowed down. I just decided I'd scoot right on the outside edge of the road. So he's like this, and I go right around him, going around, and my back tire on the passenger side slips off the edge of the paved embankment and gets on the gravel. And I let off my gas a little bit and come around, and then that gravel embankment caught the back end of my truck, and it spun around. So I'm going halfway backwards. The tires, I come back up on the street, and as my back tire comes back up and hits that pavement again, my truck flips straight over. I land on the driver's side, top of the cab, and it crushed. I remember looking out the window and watching the pavement come at me. So this is one of the moments, I have 3 moments in my life where I felt God just go, I got you. It was amazing, but yeah, soft. The pavement was soft. It just took a little nick out of my ear. Sorry, I had a coworker come up. Yeah, it took a little nick out of my ear. The top of the truck was like that, and it was just smashed even with the driver's side. And I'll show you a picture of it right here. Okay, so we're on the top. My little brother's beside me. Then the truck goes up like this, and then flips end over end. And I don't know how we did it, but there was a minivan coming at us, and I flipped over the minivan and completely missed him, and ended up rolling backwards and hit a tree. So we go over the minivan. Sorry again. We go over the minivan. We are landed on our wheels, and we're going backwards. Now, while we're flying in the air, this truck it's like I look over at my brother, and we're both floating in the air. And the truck is spinning around us. So everything we hit, we just go flying. And this is in slow motion now. I'm telling you, I remember every second of this. Until it just got so violent that I couldn't see anymore. I remember radio knobs being broke off by my hip because I hit the knobs on the radio and broke them off. My steering wheel was bent like that. We flipped over end, landed on the wheels, rolled backwards, and hit a tree. And when we stopped, I am laying with my feet out the sunroof, my head under my pedals, and the gear shifter sticking right here, not impaling me, but just, poking me. I'm laying on top of it. And my little brother is just limp, laying on my back. And I had nowhere to go. The roof is crushed even with the door. So he finally rolls off. I kind of half push him, and he rolls off. And then I get up, sit up, and I'm kind of like standing on the seat with my head out the sunroof, and I look at him. And something my brother and I have always did when we were kids, when we went through something together, we would look at each other and assess. And I don't know if you've got a sibling that you did this, but I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah." "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Your arm is fucked up." He said, "Yeah, your ear is bleeding." And we got out of the truck. I climbed normally out of this vehicle. I get on my feet. My brother climbs out the passenger side window, and he takes his shirt off. And I turn and look at him, and his arm from here down to here was just like a hamburger meat. Someone had put hamburger meat on top of it, and of course blood is just running everywhere. So he takes his shirt, wraps around it, and I remember I had this dull ache, and I turned my head to look at the truck, and my collarbone hit me in the cheek. Just like that. When that happened, I looked down, and my hand was even with my knee. My shoulder was at this angle. So actually, this part was down here where my armpit is now. And my collarbone is sticking straight up like this. That hurt. We both kind of, realized this isn't a good situation. I was immediately in shock. I can remember everything turning white and just barely being able to make out shapes, but everything was just white. And there was a pounding in my ears and extreme pain. And I grabbed my arm and pulled my shoulder up, and I'm holding it up like this right here. And we just kind of like zombie walked to the minivan. And we just opened the door. I got in, put my head on the door, bleeding out of my ear, blood going all over her car. My little brother just squirting blood out of his arm. He gets in the back, and she goes, "Where do you want to go?" And I wasn't thinking about leaving the scene of a wreck, an accident. I said, "Take me home." And my brother told her where we lived. We went home, walked in, and I collapsed onto my knees and rolled over onto the floor. And my mother, who is usually hysterical in these situations, just said, "Oh, what happened?" We told her we'd flipped the truck, and she took us to the ER. Later, the police showed up because they'd heard we were there. my best friend and the police and the ambulance and the search party and everything had been looking for us for probably about an hour and a half before that. They weren't too pleased with us, but I didn't get any tickets or anything. I was good. But yeah, that happened. It was a bad story. I was slated to go the next week into the Army and take advantage of the GI Bill and become an architect. I'd already been through a lot of school for that, and it didn't happen. So I'm a printer. There you go. I hope none of you ever had to go through anything like that. And I sure hope y'all have a good one.
Little doggy.